to college. I am joined this evening with a couple of guests in the studio that are going to help me navigate through this discussion. I also invite you, the blessed viewer, to call in or message us on Facebook.com/Coptic Cafe. And also you can call us live here in the station. The phone number here is 818-342-3388. 818-342-3388, or you can update your status on Facebook on our page, www.facebook.com/Coptic Cafe, one word. So I look forward to hearing from you, your comments, your questions, as we discuss this important issue for our young people in the church. So let me turn to my blessed viewers and welcome them to the program. Ramon Tedros, thank you for coming back to the show. Thank you. And Hatim Tedros, no relations.
Like brothers.
Thank you for being here with us this evening.
Thank you.
I'd like, you both went through the college system here, and you, of course, serve in the church, and you are in contact with many people who have undergrad work and masters and doctorate and all of that. Before we get into that, you know how the American system started out with the public school. Ramon, as you have been talking about and mentioned before, it started out to teach people how to read the Bible.
Right.
Can you explain a little bit?
Absolutely. The original settlers that came here from England, the colonies, they understood the purpose of education was simply to teach their children how to read in order so they can read the Bible. That was the sole purpose of education. As a matter of fact, some of the biggest powerhouses in education, Harvard, Princeton, Yale, all began as Christian schools. Harvard began by Reverend John Harvard, and ironically, when Harvard became a little bit more liberal and was getting away from the Christian principles and values, Yale was supposed to be the alternate, to be a more conservative alternate to sort of the liberal attitude that was built up in Harvard. And Yale actually used to have students every student was to wake up at 6:30 in the morning and begin their school day with prayer. That was mandatory. And I mean, the first president of Princeton was John Witherspoon, one of the signers, one of our founding fathers. And he had a quote that said, essentially paraphrased, it said, "If you're an enemy of God, I would not hesitate to call you an enemy of the country." So they understood the significance of education as far as bringing principle to the citizenry, and knowing that without reading or writing, the thing that would be most threatened would be biblical traditions and commandments that they couldn't know. So clearly the origination of education was based on Christian and biblical values, and it sort of drifted today.
It's amazing to hear that, and yet to compare it with what's going on in the schools today, Hatim, and how far we have moved from these principles and from these values into right down demanding and insisting on the fact that God remains outside and Christianity has no role in the intellectual world.
Yeah, and I think it's very unfortunate. I mean, at least as I was going to school, the studies indicated that it was about a 9-to-1 ratio in terms of liberal professors or liberal teachers versus conservative teachers. So the odds are stacked against the Christian student, to be sure. I think it's something that people should know going into it, and really understand that they're going to be up against a lot of pressure to compromise or to rethink, the things that they have held close to their hearts for a long time. So I think it's important for students who are entering college to know that, and I think it's important also to, strongly explain the incorrect perception that religion and science, or religion and knowledge and wisdom are contrary to one another, which is absolutely not the case.
Yes, thank you. And I want to point out something before we go on. I don't mean for us to get bogged down into a discussion of what liberalism is and calling certain universities liberals or not. Because really the important issue here is the direction which the universities are heading and the kind of influence. I don't want to use the word brainwashing, although it's probably equivalent to that. But it's very clear because when we use these terms, we may turn off some of the viewers thinking that this is a biased point of view. But I want people to rid themselves of any bias and really look at where we're going. And when you look at an issue on a ballot, how much voters vote for or against when it comes to moral issues. And we're going to play a video a little later in the program. Unfortunately, it uses the word liberalism quite a lot, but again, I'd like to point out to the viewers that this is not the intent of the program. It's really a cautionary note for our young people to be careful and be aware of what happens on school grounds. It's not only difficult for the Christian to be a true faithful and a believer on the school ground or in the universities, it's also difficult for the studious student who's just out to get a good education and not even mixing religion and other things, but a lot of distractions, a lot of partying, a lot of peer pressure, you're on your own, no one is checking on you, laziness can come in and creep in and all of that. So with this disclaimer, I want to move forward and continue the discussion. Our young people have to keep the Christian faith, and maybe we can talk about 3 points as we move forward as time allows. The first point is Christianity is a ritualistic religion. It starts out by being baptized. Participating to enter Christianity, you are actually participating in the rites of the church and the mysteries of the church. So you can't really remain a Christian without participating in the sacraments. However, it's difficult for people to do that when you start college. What's your advice, Ramon?
I think advice is to have clarity of purpose, to know why you're going to school. A quote from C.S. Lewis that I thought was very well put and articulated was, "Education without values, as useful as it may be, seems rather to make a man a more clever devil." And so just because somebody attains an education, I think an example of that would be someone like St. Augustine, who was very well educated, probably went to the Harvard of his time, Carthage. And so his mother didn't look at that as being something she was proud of, because his purpose was very skewed. He didn't have God as his main purpose in life. And so as much as he was very knowledgeable, very intelligent, God was not his goal in life. So I think if a Christian student, when he starts looking for colleges and looking to apply, he says, how can I glorify God? It says, St. Paul said, glorify God in all you do. Whether you eat or drink, do it for the glory of God. So education is part of that. And so you say, whatever I want to be a teacher, I want to be a nurse, I want to be a doctor, I want to be whatever. How could I glorify God by doing that? And understanding this is simply a phase where you're supposed to get knowledge and move on. This is not supposed to be where you build your morals and values and become a philosopher during those 4 years and start being the authority on any topic or another. So when you go into the clear purpose that you're there to get knowledge and to get in and get out, and your purpose is to sort of glorify God during those 4 years, you don't get distracted with the partying, and the anti-Christian sentiment that seems to be so rampant in schools. And I'll agree with you on the idea of using liberal and conservative as sort of a turnoff, but I think we can go more with an anti-Christian environment, and that's what it's become. Because the campuses are not simply anti-religion, but they're specifically anti-Christian. So I think when a student knows that he's going to kind of go into the lion's den with a lot of atheist teachers challenging him, and a lot of students sort of, one college was literally asking students to trade in their Bibles for pornographic material, to say that this is what they're worth. It's sort of like one bad thing for another. And so when they know these things are coming up, they can prepare themselves and not be shocked. And so,
Hatem, it is known that college experience is a life-changing experience in many cases. And so many kids that come from good families can enter the college, but they come out on the other side of the 4 years or 6 years or 8 years, whichever they go through, and they are changed, but unfortunately we have to accept that sometimes the change is not always for the best. So how can you guard against this? What would you tell an incoming freshman for the things to watch out for? Because it can start out with good behavior, but then miraculously it turns into self-destructing behavior, participation in activities that you wouldn't think that this is a student attending university to learn.
Yeah, I think it happens at a critical age as people are maturing and really, becoming the adults in their lives, and they go from sort of the life at home with their parents to, especially if they have to go away to college and live in the dormitory. It's a new level of sort of oversight for themselves, and they really need to be reflective of themselves and verify for themselves what their values are. They're going to get a level of exposure to things that they may have seen in high school, but they'll get a new level of exposure to that, be it drugs or be it whatever the case may be. There was one incident that I can remember going to college where video games were now something that was huge, and people would stay up all night long playing video games and they wouldn't go to class, and so within one quarter, of course, the students dropped out. So even something as simple as that can be something that's a distraction or destructive. So it's important to know that the change is coming, and it's important to stay ahead of it.
Thank you. You're watching the Coptic Cafe program on Logos TV. We're discussing the purpose of education. So when you enter a university, you are clear headed on what your goal is. Get in and get the education you want and come out. We have Matthew on the line with us. Matthew, welcome to the Coptic Cafe program. Thank you for calling.
Hello, Buddha Joseph Bolus. Here's some things I wanted to say. Okay, ever since the Federal Department of Education was created by President Jimmy Carter in 1977, the quality of education in America has declined, and America became behind most of the industrial world in math and science. This department is an insult to the American people, for it is built on the idea that we're too dumb to manage our education system without the help of a government bureaucracy, even though we did fine without it for the first 200 years of American history.
Yeah.
Before the federal government got involved in education, those who could not afford college education became apprentices. So, while school vouchers might be a good start, in Chapter 6 of his book, Myths, Lies, and Downright Stupidity, titled Stupid Schools, John Stossel talks about school vouchers in the American education system in general. He mentions that in New York City, the public schools have a 54% graduation rate. The private schools have a 99% graduation rate. But the private schools take in less taxpayer money, and they do not expel problem students but help them. Vouchers are meant to help students, not schools. And as long as the parents get to choose the school, it does not violate separation of church and state. Although those words don't appear in the Constitution. An excellent example, yeah?
I just wanted to say, but it is up to the incoming freshmen to choose the school they want. So I understand the school voucher system may apply to younger students attending elementary or junior high or high school. But once you come to the university level, you're free to choose whichever university you want. And my question for you is, because you're so well informed, what happened so that the bureaucrats and the government have turned the education system from a vehicle to equip our young men and women for the future to be radicalized or to push a specific agenda?
Well, they actually don't care about educating students, the government bureaucrats. They want to dumb us down so if we're not well informed.
And what is the purpose of that? Because I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I've heard that before, and it was an angle that I was considering to include on the show or not, and decided against it. But what makes you say that, since you raised it, that in whose best interest is it to dumb down the population?
Well, I would say there are communists running the system and socialists. And these, because if you Google 45 communist goals, which you can also find in the book The Naked Communist by a former FBI agent, it mentions that one of the goals is to take control of the education system and use it as a transmission belt to indoctrinate students. And so that's an excellent example of liberal hypocrisy is when left-wing politicians send their kids to elite private schools or deny the same opportunities to the least privileged kids. Actually, the biggest mistake of all the states in the Union is following Massachusetts in 1852 and adopting compulsory education. That's plank 10 of the Communist Manifesto. As a matter of fact, the founders of public education were atheists, agnostics, and secular humanists. There was no compulsory education during the time of the founding fathers, and that generation was a whole lot better educated than we are today. They were wise enough to omit any mention of education in our Constitution because they knew that the power to educate is the power to indoctrinate. And here's a good book you can read on it, and a good movie. The book is called Education, Free and Compulsory by Murray Rothbard. The movie is called Indoctrination, Public Schools and the Decline of Christianity in America. It's a documentary film created by Exodus Mandate.
Thank you very much, Matthew, for your comments and your...
Can you ask Matthew, is he recently graduated from a school, or is he currently attending?
Matthew, are you still on the phone? I think we got cut off.
My last semester at a community college, and I'm going to transfer to a conservative college, hopefully.
That's wonderful, Diana, and it's really wonderful to hear, again, refreshing to hear a young man like yourself with that perspective. You're very well informed. I really do admire that.
Thank you, Matthew, and I invite you to stay tuned and watch the show, and you're free to call back if you'd like. We're going to play a video right now to illustrate...
Okay, I'll hang up and call back again.
Yes, please feel free to...
The movie Indoctrination.
Okay. Thank you, Matthew. I'd like you, gentlemen, to look at this next video, and I think the phrase of the 4 or 5 minutes that we're going to watch is circular logic, where you are trying to do something because of the thing itself, and ironically, it's only inclusive of a set of ideas. It's exclusive of anything else. At the same time, claiming to be open and inviting, but it's only open and inviting if the ideas are within the set that is already
prescribed,
pre-planned. So let's watch the first video number 1. If we can watch that together. And it is packed with important teachings and information. So I invite you to pay close attention. It's very fast, it will finish quickly, but it's packed with important ideas to keep in mind. So let's watch the video together.
Hi, I think we need more liberal universities.
Oh no, why?
To teach children from conservative backgrounds about the merits of liberal ideas.
Why?
Students need to open their minds and expand their horizons.
Should we teach children from liberal backgrounds about the merits of conservative ideas?
Why would we want to do that?
I thought you wanted students to become more open-minded.
Only conservatives need to do that.
So liberal college students already know everything.
Why else would they act that way?
Why do conservative students need to be taught liberal ideas in college?
They haven't been presented with liberalism yet.
Except from movies, television, newspapers, magazines, and teachers.
Not enough.
How do you know?
They are still conservative.
Where do students from liberal homes hear opposing views?
They probably hear snippets of Rush Limbaugh. That's sufficient.
Yeah, it's a wonder there are any young liberals with all of the talk radio kids listen to.
Regardless, every young person needs a professor to more fully explain why they should be a liberal.
That doesn't sound like a well-rounded education.
I don't see what's missing. Liberal professors are the best and brightest minds in the world.
According to whom?
Liberal professors.
Isn't that a bit self-serving?
Who better to ask than the best and brightest?
Circular reasoning isn't what I meant by well-rounded.
You mean there's another kind of reasoning?
Don't you believe in diversity?
Absolutely. Universities should be filled with all different kinds of professors.
Including conservatives.
No. I meant minorities.
Minorities can be conservatives.
Those are not authentic minorities.
How do minorities become authentic?
By agreeing with white liberals about everything.
I think we have different definitions of diversity.
What's yours?
A wide variety of different ideas.
Oh.
What's your definition of diversity?
Different color liberals.
Oh,
But I do believe in teaching students a wide variety of different ideas.
really?
Yes. They should be taught everything from liberalism to socialism to Marxism to Leninism, Maoism, Stalinism. Everything you can possibly imagine.
I can imagine some things that don't involve centralized planning and control.
Then you didn't spend enough time at a liberal university.
Do you really think just having professors tell them to become a liberal will change students' minds?
No. That's where grading comes in.
If conservative students don't agree, their liberal professors will punish them with low grades?
Don't be ridiculous. They don't get low grades for having different opinions.
They don't.
They get low grades for having opinions that are wrong.
How are their opinions wrong?
They're not supported by enough facts.
How do you know?
Because otherwise their professors would agree with them.
This system appears to have a heavy reliance on circular reasoning.
Whatever it is, it's been working for decades.
I suppose the way to get good grades is to echo the liberal professors' opinions?
That's a very cynical view.
Then how is it supposed to work?
They're supposed to consider the opinions, agree, and only then, echo the opinions back.
Tuition money well spent.
Yes.
So parents should make tuition payments, so their children can be taught that their parents are wrong about everything.
The liberal media are not enough to shape young minds. They need someone in a position of authority over them to tell them face-to-face why liberalism is best.
What if people don't want to pay tuition for that?
Then they're against academic freedom.
I thought this was about indoctrination.
Liberals can multitask.
I'm still not sold.
In that case, your tax dollars help fund liberal universities anyway.
That's a relief. I thought supporting liberalism might be optional.
No, for some reason that leads to a lower participation rate.
I guess for a lot of people, even liberal media and liberal universities aren't enough to convince them.
They spend too much time in unstructured environments.
We call it the real world.
I don't like it.
We will try to have this video posted on the Coptic Cafe page on Facebook. Invite you to listen to it slowly. As I said, it's packed with ideas. Hatem, what's your reaction to this video?
Well, I mean, I think the video is very entertaining, and I think it talks about a lot of serious issues, but it does it sort of in a humorous way. I think the one critical one that I caught was you have to echo the opinion of the presumably liberal professor in order to get grades, and so people are presented with a conundrum. Do you put down your true opinion and risk getting a lower grade, or do you basically echo what's being said, and no matter how much you disagree with it, and in hopes of getting a higher grade? So I think it's a serious pitfall that people could fall into just in order to get good grades. So
I was trying to think of an analogy, and I came up with a weak one at best. But imagine if they select a set of colors, and they say, we're going to teach you about colors. And then they start describing the red, the yellow, the black, the white, the gray, and then you come in with the color blue, the color of the sky. And then you want to exclude that color. And you say, but it matches your criteria of what a color is. And if that's what we're talking about, colors, then this color should also be included. But for some reason, that color is not inclusive in that set. It's an exclusionary set. You can only talk about these colors in the set. And of course, take out the word color, put the word ideas. So now there's a group of ideas, a set of ideas, and only those ideas are deemed viable. And if you come up with another idea, even though we are pretending that we are opening the minds of the students and expanding their horizon of knowledge, we limit them from a certain set. Ramon, what do you think?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, Abun, and I think, as Hatem said, it was comical, but there's examples that I can go over, just a few quick ones, where the college campuses were just blatantly violating Christians' rights just to simply exist. At Vanderbilt, they adopted in 2011 a new non-discrimination policy where Christian organizations, student organizations, could not exclude or could not require the leadership to be Christian. So imagine you're a Christian club. You invite all members, all students to become members. However, in order to be in leadership of those groups, you must be Christian, which makes perfect sense. So 4 groups were given a time to comply and say either you allow anybody, an atheist, to be part of your leadership, a homosexual or open homosexual, any sort of student that wants to come and be part of leadership, you must let them, or you forfeit your status as a group. And so 4 groups decided, we'd rather not compromise our beliefs, and they actually left the campus. This is Vanderbilt University, big university. Another campus in North Carolina banned Chick-fil-A, simply for its owner saying, I believe in traditional marriage. And again, it was his opinion. He didn't impose on anybody. He didn't demand anything, the laws be changed. He just simply said, this is my beliefs, and I'm not, I'm not apologetic for it. It's what I believe. So they banned the Chick-fil-A from there. Penn State felt that they had too many Christian clubs, and we're going to stop allowing any more Christian clubs to be created. They said there's repetition. Could you imagine if different groups wanted to create 100 different kinds of clubs of any other religion or any other group, say, hey, the more the better. But Penn State said, there's too many Christian clubs on campus. Please don't make any more. They're repetitive. And so it goes on and on. One campus actually had a student who held a poster for Christ and talked about Christ on campus, which is a public university. First they said you couldn't do this anymore. It's kind of annoying the students. And later, when he went to the Alliance Defense Fund, who was a Christian organization to defend cases like this, they said, okay, you have 2 hours a week. Could you imagine any other group being told you have free speech on campus, on a public campus in a courtyard somewhere for 2 hours a week, and that's it? He's not asking for money. And the last example, which is interesting, one of the presidents of the university, is a student body president, had a request from an LGBT group, the Lesbian Gay Alliance, or lesbian, bisexual, transgender, all that stuff. They were requesting money. So they needed him to sign a document to get their funding, or it could be approved in a different way. So he said, I'll approve your funding, however, for my personal beliefs, I don't want to sign it. So I'll have somebody else take care of it, and you'll get your funding. But they weren't happy with that. They demanded that he be fired. So basically, for having your personal beliefs as a Christian, that is unacceptable to some campuses, which is shocking in America. You think the land of the free.
Well, let me bring it back to empowering our young people to remain truthful and faithful to their faith. And we're going to have another episode about modern day heroes, really, that stand up for Christ and are courageous enough to stand up to the media and everyone else. So let me bring it back to what can we do. St. Peter writes in his first epistle, he says, always be prepared to make a defense to anyone who calls you to account for the hope that is in you. And this is what I want to switch the second half of the show and talk about. How can we be ready to fulfill this verse, 1 Peter 3:15? Obviously, we spoke about Christianity as a ritualistic religion where you participate, and to remain a true Christian and faithful to your belief, it requires you to go to church and participate in the mysteries. And then the second thing is that it is intellectual as well, to be ready to give an answer for those who ask you. So for our young people, the 4 years of school is not the time for vacation from church. I'm busy with exams, I have projects coming up, I have research papers and things like that. We actually have to also carry ourselves in such a way that we are able to help others get the answers if they ask. And this is where I want you to comment with me. Let me pause and give the station information again. You're watching Coptic Cafe on Logos TV. Thank you for watching. We invite you to call us on the line 818-342-3388, or you can update the status on our Facebook page, and we'll get your comments or questions and read them live. Be ready to give a reason for the hope that is in you. It requires to be true to your mission in there, which is to learn. And what's your comment, Hatem?
Yeah,
There's no question, but just reaction.
Well, so I think of when the repetitive nature of our church and the beauty of our church, I think it's critical to not call it a ritualistic. I think everything in the church is done in wisdom. In wisdom, let us attend. In wisdom, let us hear the Holy Gospel. In wisdom, know what you're doing. Know the details of your church. And so, I think the wisdom of the church and the wisdom that's in the Gospel and in the Word is just as important, if not more important, than the wisdom that we get about the basic sciences or the wisdom that we get about mathematics or any other discipline. So I think it's critical too that those don't become what we worship. So in the book of Romans, it talks about worshiping the created rather than the Creator Himself. So when we see the things that we see in science and all of the mechanisms that happen inside of a cell that are just infinitesimally small, that should be a testament to the Creator and not worshiping the science itself versus worshiping who created the science. So I think it's a critical time to have those ideas reiterated to students as they're about to embark on that 4-year that's hopefully not a vacation from the church.
Yeah, and this is, thank you for raising this point, Hatem. When you go to school, either parents are paying for the bill, or the student, him or herself, are scraping enough money to work through and go through it, or there is a scholarship or some form of payment. It's important to remember the purpose for this investment. We call it investment. Hopefully it is an investment. There's an important reason to have it, and that's why when you go to school, don't waste it. An advice to the students, don't waste the time there by the distractions around you, and actually get out what you went in there for, knowing that you're actually going to be helping the church. Because it's not just St. Peter who is asking us to always be prepared to make a defense, but this is the hope of the church. We send our young men and women to college and expecting them to come back and contribute. So it's equally important how you carry yourself throughout the 4 years as you do afterwards. What are you going to do with your future? What measure are you going to get in, and all of that. Ramon?
Yeah, but I think I've had a lot of our youth from my church personally tell me they realize how much lack of knowledge they have of the Bible when they went to college, because a lot, like I told Itzhak earlier, they get challenged by professors, and the professors will mention topics like slavery, and say your Bible has slavery and it condones it. Your Bible condones, different misinterpreted things in the Old Testament. And so, if you're not ready when you go into college, if you yourself don't have that knowledge and that the Holy Spirit's working within you, it's hard to pass that on to somebody else. It's hard to be strong when you yourself, or to strengthen other people when you yourself are not prepared. So I think if the student understands that he's kind of like Daniel the prophet, he was in a very bad environment, but those youth managed to not get themselves involved in that environment. So they're able to live in the world, but still maintain their principles, their values. So if you go in knowing that you're going to be going up, against a lot of unchristian behavior and environment, you're much better off. And some students actually know what their career path is well before. And I like it when I see, for instance, someone tell me, my favorite saint is such and such. And we have saints that are all different careers. Mm-hmm. So to pick a saint who was a doctor, who was a lawyer, who was a teacher, and say, I want to, model my career after this person. Mm-hmm. So it's good to have that vision of what you want to do. How are you going to praise God? How are you going to glorify God with your career?
And we don't want our young people to underestimate the need of the church for your intellectual mind, because, for example, we have Isaiah's prophecy about the suffering servant. It wasn't understood by any, we don't assume that it's understood by everyone, because the Ethiopian eunuch didn't understand it, and he required Philip to come and explain it to them. So we want our young people to remain faithful to the calling of being a student. It's if you look at it as being, it's a calling to remember all the spiritual meetings you attended, the Sunday school, and the youth meetings, and all of that. When you go to college, we hope that these things are just not out of your mind and out the window. You're actually committing yourself and your brain and your mind to be further improved, so that it can be used by the church. So help your church reach the people that need it the most, and that would be the people on the college campuses. Before I get your reaction, I just want to point out something you said, Hatem, that some people were playing video games all night long, and by the end of the quarter they had to drop out. This is an important note to make, because there are a lot of people who are partying and involved in this activity and that. But after 4 years, the student who has taken this in a serious way is ready to move on, and some people are still trying to figure out what classes to take and what major to take. What do you think about that, Hatem or Ramon? About the fact that the church needs the intellectual mind from our students when they go to school and come back.
Yeah, I think certainly so everybody knows the purpose of a strong education is to develop a career that hopefully that can be used to be some sort of a witness, or to glorify God in some way, whether the profession itself may serve the work of God, or just being a witness at your workplace. So I think whatever the career is, there's always room to take that and to take your role from the church that we've received into the workplace.
And Ramon, there's a reason why it says be ready to give an answer, because people will have questions. And it is the perfect opportunity for a believer, an Orthodox believer, to part with the knowledge they have and explain to the people, answer the questions. If it's in a ridicule sense or a mocking sense, okay, you can give just enough to entertain. But if someone is really asking, someone who was not brought up in the church, does not know about the mysteries, this is the chance to preach.
Absolutely, but I know of a couple people. One of them was an atheist in college, and so in college there's definitely some change that happens. Whether it's someone who refines themselves even further and becomes a more strengthened Christian throughout those years, or they sort of, if they're wobbly on the way in, sometimes they get devastated by, there's a chaos of information, and so anybody who gives them anything starts making them doubt. So one of the people I knew was actually an atheist and was ended up being a roommate to a Christian in college, and now is almost like an apologetic for Christianity because of being challenged by a person who knew their Bible. And so that was an opportunity to convert somebody over rather than be the person who gets converted away from Christianity. So the opportunity is great because it's the time where you're away from home. You have a lot of bonding that you do with people your age. And so you don't have to look at it as, we don't want to describe it as being a scary thing where you're going to go in there and they're going to attack you. But you look at it as an opportunity to preach the Word of God. And hopefully, and I know somebody else that was put into a room with somebody who was homosexual and was able to sort of start opening up their horizon and saying, no, God is not against you. He doesn't hate you. There's a sin and so on and so forth. So it's almost like a free opportunity to minister to somebody in a very good duration of time. But 4 years is a good time.
It's always nice to remember that the student is part of the peer pressure.
Absolutely.
So it's not this outside entity or power that is working against me. I can actually control and move this power around and become part of the peer pressure that.
And as a Christian, one of my favorite verses is whoever can turn away a sinner from his sins gains. Again, paraphrasing, but gets a lot of mercy from God for that. So you cover a lot of your own sins by getting somebody over. I also know somebody else who came here from another country as a student on a student visa, and was practicing another Islam, was practicing another faith, obviously, and was very devout in his faith. And he was only here for maybe for about a year or two for a master's program. And during that time, he was not only converted, but he went around preaching Christ. So imagine the power that you have, and it's almost like a limited opportunity, because once you finish college, you really can't preach at work. It's very difficult. You don't get to room with coworkers. So it's a very special opportunity for a true Christian to be able to gain people to Christ, and that in turn will cover a lot of his sins.
Hatem, what do you think is a problem for someone to speak about Christ on campus? Some people are bashful, some people are not ready, they might duck the question or might even avoid it altogether. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think it does take some courage to be able to speak up against what you feel is maybe the surrounding opinion is not agreeing with you. I think we hear a lot of backlash from sort of political entities that get backlash for speaking a Christian opinion. Anytime something is not fully tolerant, and I'll use that word within quotes, or entertaining of every other possible opinion. I mean, there are very legitimate ways where you can disagree with and really despise an idea and not despise a person. And I think it takes a lot of courage to be able to speak that opinion. But I think we get a lot of comfort from what we read in the gospel, and knowing that we have to be witnesses for Christ, and knowing that as long as we don't deny Him, He will not deny us, and so on. So I think we get a lot of charge, and we get a lot of strength from reading things like that.
In the scripture it says, to one person is given wisdom, to others knowledge, to still others the work of healing, prophecy, and the discernment of the Spirit. I think it's important for our young people to remember that their job for the period of university attendance is to be a student. And we spoke about this a little bit earlier, not to become a philosopher or to have a concrete opinion about things like environment, about the Bible, about alternative lifestyles and things like that. Because you need a mature outlook on life to really start holding these opinions. So how do you stop yourself from being carried over with the support of the professors, maybe the friends? Everything is moving in one direction. It's kind of hard to fight against the current.
When I think, thankfully, a lot of our students do go into the sciences in colleges, which there's a little bit of objectivity there, and science is less than there is in the arts and different. In the arts, it's very much heavily focused against Christianity. So a lot of our youth are going into medicine and engineering. So the positive point is they don't have to deal with ideology so much as more hard sciences that they're dealing with. However, I think if the upbringing in the home from the parents prepares the student all his life, you can't start being a Christian the day one of college. You can't kind of learning on the job, if you will. It's very difficult. So you have to be well rooted in your church. I think it's critical that throughout high school you're preparing yourself to sort of be thrown out there into college and not be opening the Bible for the first time trying to figure out what is Christianity. So it's preparation from throughout your whole life, but especially during the years of high school. A lot of youth don't come back to church after college for whatever purpose, and that's not just in the Coptic community. That's a general survey that was taken by the Barna Group that showed 61% of youth at the age of 18 leave the church. So that's a general statistic. So it's important to know that, again, when you leave for college, you don't leave church. That's when you need church the most, as a matter of fact. And a lot of youth get that confused. I've seen a lot of kids succeed in both their spiritual life and their academic life, and those are the ones that really make me proud. There's a student that I recently was talking to, and he went to some of the most liberal colleges, modern-day liberal colleges, Princeton, Harvard, Oxford, and was able to still maintain his very conservative values. So it's possible. If someone's rooted, they tend to do well throughout those 4 years.
We have about 15 minutes left in the show, and I'd like to get into helping our students as to the how. How can they stay focused as much as can, fight off the temptation, and resist the chaos that oftentimes takes place in the school. And in the beginning of the show, I mentioned we were going to speak about 3 points: the ritualistic, and we spoke about the intellectual, and the third one, to be a Christian, of course, is to be moral. And one thing that was known about C.S. Lewis was the fact that he was close to his students because he was, according to the text I read, a trusted friend of Christ. So how can our students be trusted friends in Christ, Hatem?
Well, yeah, I think being away, especially for those students who are going away to school, this is some of the first exposure to absolute freedom. And I think that's a cause of maybe some of the backlash, and some of the steps back that students take in these years. But I think it's critical to know that we're with God at all times, and we're walking with Him at all times. And I think that it's just as critical, if not more critical, to know this in college. To stay with the things that we've done all throughout high school. If we're attending church regularly and weekly, it's critical to keep doing that. And if you're serving in any kind of way, it's critical to do that and expand upon it. So I think that the knowledge of knowing when no one else is looking that we are still with God, I think that's the critical piece.
Okay. I have a list of things here that you can do to try to navigate your way in college. And I want to hear from you if you've actually tried this and how feasible it is. Of course, it's all in an effort to avoid becoming intellectual, because the word has some connotation in that you are an authority on information, and you know what you're talking about, you're the intellectual, and you don't need input from other people. So knowledge is basically the goal in the intellectual mind. We don't want our students to go in the school and have this attitude where they now possess the information but not know that this is still part of their learning process, and they are not to pass judgment on this information yet. So fulfilling your calling as a Christian student won't be easy. We know that. There's a lot of resistance and a lot of temptation. How can you go about finding good teachers? Because we have to accept that, yes, there are those teachers with their agenda and propaganda and trying to radicalize the kids and even not care about educating the students, even dumbing down even better in their mentality. But we can't deny that there are good teachers. So how do you go about?
Absolutely. I think for one, I love it when students try to gain from other students, from their experience. So the odds are most colleges that are being attended by our youth were attended by previous generations, or even recently graduates. So it's good to speak. I like it when students don't feel like they know everything and they don't need to ask anybody anything. It's good to learn from the wisdom of the past. Also, there's obviously a lot of websites that tell you about the professors, and unfortunately, some students believe it's who gives the easy A. And that's kind of a pitfall, because you don't want the easy A. You actually want to learn. And some of the best teachers are some of the most difficult teachers. And I think we can both attest to that. We had very difficult professors in our master's program, but they were actually the most, they had the most principle, they were the most entertaining, they had the most knowledge, but it was tough to get a good grade. So don't pursue the grade as much as pursue the knowledge, and especially in math, where you have to carry on that knowledge to the next course. And thirdly, I believe it's who you choose to have fellowship with in school. Birds of a feather flock together. You tend to see that the group that someone chooses to hang out with in college makes significant difference. So if you have people who are always slacking, who maybe don't have God in their life as a real essential part of their life, that will rub off on you no matter what, whether you like it or not. So,
and this is an important point to keep in mind also. Not all the Christian professors are going to be good for you or for your Christian faith necessarily, right. Because we don't know what their motives are and what theology they formed about the religion. Some Christian people have the name by label only. And likewise, not all non-Christian professors are going to mislead you or lead you astray from Christ. So what do you say, Hatem, about the point of finding out a good professor? Is it fairly easy? Did you try to do that when you went to college?
Yeah, I think just to echo Ramon's point again, it is critical to build a strong network of Christian fellowship and people who have been through it before and who can tell you and advise you versus, one professor versus another professor. I think just to, repeat your point, Abuna, I think the good professor is going to be the one that respects that there may be other opinions and does not rule them out and does not say, oh, you can't have this opinion and judge the grade by that. So it's not necessarily a Christian professor. It's not necessarily somebody who's, strong one way or the other. I think it's just somebody who's going to respect that there's somebody who has a Christian perspective, is going to bring that to the table and have that be, as valuable an opinion as some of the other opinions. So.
And believe it or not, professors respect students who are engaged in intellectual conversation.
The good professors do.
Good professors, of course, yeah.
And I think one little tidbit of advice that I noticed is sometimes you got to pick your battles too. It's not worth it to go into maybe a philosophy class or some liberal arts class and really challenge the teacher so much to where your grade becomes threatened. So it's good for the Christian to be wise on when to sort of lay low, get in, get out, knowing this is unfortunately the type of environment I'm in. I want to get in there, get my grade, and get out because it's a general ed class or even a required class.
But we want to be sure not to disappoint Christ in the process. We're
Absolutely not.
Going to abandon your faith or...
but challenging a professor so much may not always be may not be the best thing for your grade. And some the bad teachers don't like to be challenged. And so if you notice, you can do better by being a little more quiet and sort of just get to the class. It's.
And I think also a key point to give to our blessed viewers is the fact that the students who are attending universities are now of age. You don't need a parent around school. You don't look at the professor to nurture you and guide you. Of course, any spiritual advice is welcomed and encouraged, but always keep in mind that your parents at home are probably going to care about your life and your future the most. No one else in the world is going to have that your best interest in your mind. And also the servants at the church, the spiritual leaders that you have come to know, attached to those, not to someone from school. The next thing, would it be worth it to rearrange your schedule to take the good professors? Because you can do that in college, of course. Some of the students may not know that, but is that also a strategy?
I think we have different opinions on that, because I've always believed that the teacher matters more than the subject sometimes, because I believe a great teacher can really make a difference in what you come out from the class. Hatem, I think, had the school of thought where it doesn't matter what the teacher is.
So I think Ramon is right. I do put less emphasis on the style of teaching versus the material itself. I mean, I think if a class material content is going to be difficult, it's going to be difficult somewhat regardless of the teacher, but I think the teacher does play a role. So I would say to some degree it's valuable to reschedule your regimen of classes if taking a certain professor is going to help you understand the material and certain...
Remember, we're talking about the good professor who doesn't have an agenda and really they just want to educate and they don't care one side or the other, politically speaking, or if someone is an atheist or a religious person, you just want to give them as honestly as they can, because some of those non-religious professors are actually devoted to their subject matter as a religion, and they take it as that and they want to give it to you in the fullest form.
Yeah, I think I really just one last point here. This is also the first opportunity that the students have to do this. Is, normally they have their schedule set for them in high school and that everything is already taken care of, but they can really take some liberty and arrange their schedule and maybe arrange it around their spiritual life. I mean, some people enjoy having the spiritual food, if you will, or reading the Bible at night, and some people enjoy it in the morning. So I think it's a good chance to rearrange your school schedule to accommodate better the spiritual.
Here's another trick. Have you gone to the bookstore at the beginning of the year to find out what the assignments are from the professors and walk down the aisle, see who's assigning the Confession of Augustine as a required reading or things like that, and then say, obviously, this is a professor who has some intellectual friends who wants to share them with the students, and then base your choices on what is
Absolutely, but I think, again, for me personally, I do have a bias. I do appreciate conservative teachers, Christian conservative teachers more than other teachers. Like, for instance, one professor was actually in trouble for handing out a reading assignment, because that's really discretionary reading, and the book was the Marketing of Evil. And he really thought students, if they read that book, it would really expose them to a lot of what's going on in society. So to me, I would be more disposed to lean towards a teacher like that, even if it had very little to do with the subject matter in the class. I almost feel like I'd get a better quality from a teacher who shares my values, and maybe again that's just my personal opinion, but that does make a difference to me, the teacher's values.
Okay. I've just been informed we have just a little bit over 2 minutes for the rest of the show. I'd like to remind you, watching a Coptic Cafe show on Logos TV. Thank you for being here with us this evening. We've been talking about the purpose of education and making the best out of your years at the university. If the university has an agenda or has some kind of program to enlist you or to influence you, there will always be a way out if you just want to get in there and get your education and move on for the next part of your life. So I'd like to just share with the blessed viewers that, like we mentioned, it's not easy. We realize it's difficult. I remember in my days back at Cal Poly Pomona back in the 80s, a long time ago, I was informed about toga parties, and I didn't know what those were, of course, but then I saw the white sheets and people wrapped in
Greek themed parties.
yes, and it was foreign to me, and I didn't think that this is something that would interest me. I didn't participate basically because it felt uncomfortable. And I think this is really the message here. If you are invited to something that you feel uncomfortable, don't make yourself get used to it by doing it over and over. So no one can really pray without ceasing all day long, and we accept that. And students are still young, still impressionable. They need to have some guidance. So it's not wrong to admit that we need help at times, but go to church for help, not go to your peers and your friends. Don't neglect the learning process. It's very important, but be committed to it. Don't underestimate the moral atmosphere. As human, we can't help it but be influenced by what's around us, and this is completely normal. It's not a sign of a weak person or a bad person. If we are tempted because everybody around us is doing something that is making us uncomfortable, if we remain in that environment long enough, we will become desensitized to it, and we're not going to feel it. And then we can't help but be influenced by the behavior of our friends, so to be careful with that. Do you guys have final thoughts before we close the program?
Yeah, I would say, Bona, that for the parents, know that college is a difficult time. A lot of parents underestimate that. They think it's easy here. It's very difficult, so offer as much support as possible. And for the student, the more moral courage you have, it'll be an enjoyable experience. And kind of remember, just do it all for the glory of God, and that's what you're there for.
Thank you. You've been watching the Coptic Cafe program on Logos TV. We appreciate you. You're joining us, and look forward to seeing you in the next program. May God bless you. Good night.